sorry about that. It's Janet Wakeland here with Remarkably Created. I wanted to take a moment to just go ahead and unbox the new trimmer together and give you real authentic feedback based on my personal first impression with it. I know many times you'll, get a new product, you'll look at it behind the scenes and you'll formulate this script and all of that kind of stuff. And I wanted to be real and I wanted to be authentic, and I'm excited about it. It was waiting in my mail pile when I got back from a trip from India. Many of you know that I've been traveling for a wedding, hence the beautiful mehndi or henna on my hands. It is starting to fade a little bit. It was as dark as all of this, but you'll notice that a little bit in the video. So I'm going to turn the screen around and we're going to take a look at a side-by-side comparison of our retired trimmer and our brand new one. So let's get started. Oops, let me hit a little harder. There we go. So this is the older trimmer that we all know and love. It does have a little handle that pulls out. It's got its marks top and bottom so that it can be used lefty or righty. It can be turned around. We know that it has a little lip that you can put your paper up against. We know that it has a locking mechanism to lock this plastic arm in place, so we know it has that. We know that it is larger than a 12-inch piece of cardstock so that you have room to get your scoring and your cutting blades up out of the way. You can have both on the cutting piece. We also know that it has a cutting track in here that is removable that comes out. A couple of other features about this, and the reason why I'm mentioning all of these features is because this is what we'll be comparing the new one in the box to. We know that there's this little storage unit underneath. I'm not sure how many of you do actually use that, but it's a great place for, extra little markers. You can put a stylus pen in there, a pokey tool. You could put a bone folder, lots of things like that. And then it does have 5 rubberized feet so that it doesn't slide across your surface no matter what type of surface it has that you're working on it. And then one last feature of this one is it does have this little pop-out foot on the arm to stabilize it. Okay, so that's the features of the one that was retired. And if we remember, it was retired because we had nothing but issues with the blades. And I know that it caused a lot of heartache and a lot of concern and frustration among people that actually owned it, but we have to remember that in the industry, and not just in crafting industry, but in the world, features are constantly being retired, whether it's on a car and they're upgrading the features, whether it's, a vacuum cleaner. Lord knows our electronics, Alexis has had how many updates in your computers and your PCs. Things get updated. And a lot of times things get updated based on reviews and feedbacks from the users. And that's what happened here. We were having a lot of trouble with the blades going dull really, really quick. And it just wasn't something great. And oh my gosh, guys, you want to see this? Thank you so much for telling me to flip. So real quick again, guys, I'm going to just do this review super fast because I wasn't on screen. So anyway, 1/4-inch marks at the top, marks at the bottom. One, it helps keep it in line, but it also allows for lefties to easily turn it and then use it. It has a surface that's longer than 12 inches. It allows you to cut 12-inch paper, but it also allows you to slide your scoring and your cutting tools up out of the way without having to constantly remove them from the cutting track. The cutting track in this case was a track that was in here that was removable, and as you can see, mine's not even in here. They always were falling out. It had a locking mechanism so you could lock this arm in place, which was great for those of us who like to go to crafting retreats and take our trimmers with us or craft on vacation and things like that. Does have a pull-out arm so that you can go ahead and extend your cutting length. Both here, there's a little bump and a ridge. There's a ridge here and along here that allows you to place your cardstock up against it for that nice straight cut. You don't have to worry about it shifting. When we flip it over, the features that I was mentioning so that you have a visual on them, those rubberized feet, there are 5 of them so that it doesn't slide on any surface. That removable arm that I talked about has a pop-down foot, again, to stabilize it when you're cutting larger pieces. And then it did have this little storage unit underneath. So with that quick review in mind, let's go ahead and let's open this. Again, I haven't even looked at it. I want to be as honest and as real as possible. And I want to see and have you guys see my reaction. I saw a prototype, I will be honest though, of this on the incentive trip, but this still is not exactly like the one. I can already tell that looking at this. Oh my gosh, guys, this is exciting just looking at it. First, it's actually lighter. It actually has a lot less weight to it. So that's kind of really nice for those of us that pack and we're taking them to events and classes and things like that. Let's lay them side by side so that you can see them side by side first for just a minute. So this one has much squarer look to it. This is rounded. This one, let me see if I can hold them up for you. One is much higher and thicker made, because that's probably where a lot of the weight is. If I turn it this way, here you can see the thickness, and here you can see just how thin that is, okay? It doesn't make it feel any less sturdy. Sometimes, you know, oh, it's, you know, less quality or whatever. No, it has just a really nice feel to it. So you can see that. It already also has a smaller overall profile. The curves on this one, you can see that underneath here, pop out as well as a little bit at the top. So this one has a smaller profile than the other one does. Then when we look underneath, what we're missing is we're missing that storage component, which most of us were not using anyway. Most of us have a little wood mount case that we carry all of our pieces and our things in, so we don't have that. We do have more rubberized feet on this one. I can already see one extra on the very basics, and then we've got those on the arm that does swing out. So it's got more rubberized feet, going to give you a little bit more stability there. Let's go ahead and let me pull this off to the side. We've got our trimmers. Our blades, there's already a larger cutting surface, and I wish, let me see if I can hold this up. Let me find the camera angle for you guys. Don't get dizzy yet. There you go. It's got a larger cutting surface. Love, love, love that, okay? And of course, you've got your scoring tool, and right here is the part where it pops out. If you, again, on the other one, you had to come all the way down here to the end. This one, there's a little wider piece, about 2 inches. Oh, sorry about this, guys. Let me fix that. So this one has a little wider opening, about 2 inches up from the bottom, and that's where you're going to go ahead and pop your pieces out. Just like on the other one, the gray is for scoring and the darker gray is for cutting. And let's go ahead and pop these in. Now on my older one, you may have noticed that I did something like this. I actually had an S and a C. These are flat, and you kind of hold them on either side, which, you know, if you've got a little bit thicker fingers, if you've got a little bit of arthritis, they could have been a little harder to capture, okay? So the flat style allowed me to label them, but they could be a little harder to get your fingers around. And if you had beautiful long nails, when I had fake nails on, I found this a little hard sometimes to slide. My nails would get in the way, okay? And I know some of you use those storage bins all the time, but I think in surveys and trying to figure out how to make this different and go forward, not enough people were using the storage bins, Donna. So we're going to get you a wood mount case, so you have that handy. But anyway, now we've got these thicker ones. You can grab onto them a lot better. You can put more pressure in them. I like that. I can still put an S right here so that I know, and a C. So I have that visual S and C. I know we have the different colors, but a lot of times, I'll be honest, I'm talking while I'm working, and so I'm distracted, so I need as much visual reminders as I can possibly have. This one has a row of actual numerical numbers right in the middle too, which I think is great. If you're cutting something shorter or smaller, you're going to see these. And guys, I'm just rattling off differences that I see from the top of my head at this moment. I've not watched any of the videos. I've not watched any other demonstrator videos. Lord knows all I've been doing is trying to stay awake with the time zone difference between India and here. All I've wanted to do is sleep. It's been absolutely crazy. So I'm just rattling off things off the top of my head. If you yourself already have this trimmer, if you're a demonstrator watching this and you already have this trimmer and you know some other bells and whistles that I'm failing to mention, I would love for you to pipe in and mention those in the feed below, both so that I can learn from you and so that my customers can also learn as well and fellow demonstrators can learn. So we've got these measurements, again, top and bottom. We do have a lip here. And let's grab a piece of paper. I have yet to cut yet, so we're going to see how that goes. But it does have a nice lip on it again, top. It does have that lip on the bottom. And then when we go ahead and okay, let me swing out okay, which side's so I got to figure out which way it goes. There we go. So it swings out from the bottom. not just the top, but it swings out from the side, and then it's going to lock in place. And because it's already flat, you don't have to worry about popping that leg down. The feet, everything is just one nice bridge, and I find that this is, yeah, much more stable than the other ones. We're sorry to shake the screen, but I wanted to press on this really, really hard. This goes all the way out to just past 17 inches, guys. This is huge. This is amazing, guys. And the numbers are really easy. The transition from 6 to 7, the marks in here are really easy to see. A lot of times on trimmers, this is where the breakdown ends up happening, or that I call it the point of frustration. I have the old guillotine cutter still from Stampin' Up. I hoarded quite a few of them when they were being discontinued. And this little spot here is just, oh, the bane of my existence sometimes when I'm trying to cut on that guillotine. So I love seeing this. So we've got both centimeters and we've got inches. I love having both of them because with us being a global company, a lot of our beautiful projects and tutorials and things like that are coming from our fellow demonstrators that are doing their projects in centimeters. And so now I have these markings right here in both. I don't need one trimmer for metric and one trimmer for imperial or the US inches. So I love seeing all of that, but oh my gosh, I think I'm really loving this here in the middle. How crazy is that, right? I mean, sometimes it's the simplest little things. So we're gonna cut a variety of different cardstocks. So I have our simple, very vanilla cardstock. We know that that's the nicest, smoothest cardstock there is. And let's go ahead and we're just going to give it a cut. We're just going to see how this works. Let's see what it feels like. Okay, did I do the wrong thing? Hold on just a second. Do I have it in? I don't have this in right somehow, guys. There we go. Let's see if it's in the track now. There we go. I didn't have it when I went ahead and inserted it, so it's a learning curve. I didn't have this snapped all the way down in. It was riding on top of the rails and was not fully engaged to cut. So operator error, learning curve, learn from my mistakes, right? Make sure that it's fully engaged. Beautiful clean cut, guys. There's no fibers. It didn't pull at all. And yes, you saw me go back and forth. That's out of habit, but I could feel the cut. So let's just see for proof. Proof is in the pudding, right? So we're going to slice one direction, and then we'll come back the other way. And then I'm curious about, oops, okay, so that's something that's going to take a little getting used to. It feels like it does kind of stick on me. So I need to figure that out just a little bit. And we're being honest here, guys. It's almost like it locks down really tight each time, which is a positive. When you're used to something being a little more flimsy like the other one that, you know, just always popped up, this one is holding the paper much more securely, which is why I believe it's snapping down and I need to give it a little pull up. So that was a little different for me. I wasn't ready for that. Caught me off guard just a little bit. Of course, because of these marks here, it also means that we're going to have the ability to do more of some things on an angle. So that's going to be fun by having those marks there. So let's just for fun, let's do a couple more things. Let's first try scoring. We're going to snap this down and we're going to give it a good score and pop it open. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, this is like real enthusiasm. I am not faking this. Look at that score. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. There is no way, no matter how many times I pressed and pushed on the old trimmer, that I got a score like that. That is one pass up and back, guys. Look at that. Oh my goodness gracious. That is so cool, guys. Okay, sorry. You know what? It doesn't take a lot to make, you know, us crafters happy. Okay, so I have a piece of our watercolor paper. It's a lot thicker and it's textured. So we're going to give that a test drive. And since I don't want to, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and cut it just about in half. And one cut. Look at that, guys. And again, nice and smooth. This blade rocks, guys. Absolutely rocks. I love that. So much fun. And somebody said pull it from here. No, pulling it from here. Let's try it. Thanks, guys, for that feedback. Let's see what happens. And actually, you don't even need to open it. Your cardstock slides right in and underneath without even opening it in some places. Not all places. We're going to have to do a lot more playing with this, but this is so much fun. I'm so excited. I'm so glad I've got some playtime built into my schedule this week to just sit and craft and work with it. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. So this is our regular cardstock. Again, none of those pulls, none of that kind of, you know, feathering, that eating away that we saw with the others. But just, I want to also try what somebody mentioned about pulling it up from the middle. Yeah, you could. It feels to me like it bows a little bit when I do that. So I feel much more comfortable popping it up from here. Or the other thing, let me put this arm back in for a second and move it up. The other thing that I've been doing is simply bracing my finger here and then pulling up from here, and that works too. So some of it's going to be finding your style with it. But oh my gosh, guys, many of you have asked about, is it worth to invest in? What about my old one? Well, use up your old trimmers. I know I've been selling my old trimmer on eBay, but use them up and then upgrade. Your crafting is worth an upgrade, guys. I mean, I upgraded my Cricut, I upgraded my Silhouette, and I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to upgrade it yet again to a scan and cut. So those are all options and choices that we have. So now I have our glimmer paper, and I'm going to just pull that. Oh my gosh, guys. Again, nice, clean, beautiful cut, cutting our glimmer paper. So that's a lot of fun. And one last one to try for you guys visually here. I have our acetate paper. And again, acetate can have its own set of challenges. So we're going to go ahead and lock that in. And let's go ahead and let's cut through that. And no, I did not pull the film off yet. There is a film, at least on this acetate. This is our beautiful mirrored glass acetate, and there is a film. And no, I did not pull the film off because I was curious, again, just about what this will cut through and would it actually even snag that film, and it absolutely did not. We have another nice, clean, beautiful cut. Look at that, guys. This is amazing. So this trimmer is currently available to demonstrators as a pre-order. It is $25 in the United States, so I absolutely love the price point. The price point is amazing. So if you are not yet a demonstrator, of course, you're always welcome to join and add this to your new demonstrator starter kit. But if you are a customer and love being a customer, of course, it will be available to you beginning on November 1st. And you'll be able to spoil yourself just in time for all of your holiday card making and paper crafting projects for the holidays, guys. So I will go back through all of your questions and your comments that you have there so that I can go ahead and answer your questions for you as I begin to play more and more with this. So keep asking your questions. And again, thank you to all of you who shared your own experience with using it so far. But you guys, this rock, I gotta go, hold on a minute, I gotta go back one more time. I just gotta experience this one more time before I go back to work today. Let's just do this. And that's out of habit. I don't need to do it twice. It's just out of habit. Makes me feel good. But oh my gosh, guys, look at that score. Look at that. Oh my gosh, guys, I am gonna be a scoring fool. Oh, I love, love, love this. For all of you guys that are box makers and like to make bags and like to do all of those really fancy folding cards, that alone, the scoring tool alone, is a reason to upgrade. This is amazing. I know on the other one, sometimes I would take, you know, my scoring tool down in the crease if I could. I had a little, you know, like an older stylus tool I would run through it, but not this time, guys. So thank you guys for jumping in and joining me here on a Monday morning as I get caught back up from being away for 2 weeks. Watch for a whole bunch more Facebook Live videos in the next coming 10 days. Thanks, guys. Oh, wait a minute. Real quick, while Maureen's here, I've got her on the thing. I cut the glimmer paper with the white side up. She said it's gentler on the blades. I think it depends on what you're doing and what you need to see. I'll be very honest. I find that our new glimmer paper is not as rough, but most definitely cutting it paper side down could definitely be gentler on the blade. So that's a good tip to bring up. And I really appreciate you mentioning that and speaking about that. So again, it just depends on maybe if it's something that you need to see or don't need to see. But while we have this down, let's also see how it scores the glimmer paper here for a minute. This is our glimmer paper, which can be one of the hardest to score, so you can see that score line. So again, for me, cutting glimmer up or down just depends. Cutting glimmer up was a visual for you guys so you could see that, but definitely cutting it down might be less of a roughness on your blade, so that could be a great idea. So thank you for bringing that up. And again, I'll continue to go through all of your comments and all of those kinds of things. I don't see any scratches, and I also don't see a film on this. The other one said that you pull up a film, but I don't see that, and I'm not feeling any scratches or marks. Guys, don't say I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it. No, I don't see any mark. I use it as a little sanding paper. And again, remember what you're doing is you're cutting. There's no reason why it should scratch anything unless, again, you grab it and you try to use it as a sanding paper. You're holding it in place, you're cutting it, and you're lifting it right off. So the date, Lois, for customers, I thought was November, but now you're going to make me second guess myself. I'll find it and I'll post it. Thanks, guys. Have an amazing Monday and an amazing week.